On a quiet November morning in 1986, the peaceful rhythm of an Orthodox Jewish school in Long Beach, New York, was shattered. A 16-year-old student, Chaim Weiss, was found dead in his dormitory. The details of what happened that night would confuse detectives for decades, leaving a community shaken and a family searching for answers that would never come. Within Orthodox Judaism, a yeshiva is more than just a school. It's a sacred place, a world devoted to the intense study of ancient texts, tradition, and faith. For generations, these institutions have shaped tight-knit communities, bound by rituals and laws that date back thousands of years. It's a self-contained universe, often insulated from the outside world, where life revolves around prayer and scholarship. This insular nature would become a central and deeply frustrating element in the investigation that was about to unfold. When Detective Don Daly of the Nassau County Police arrived that Sabbath morning, he stepped into a scene that was unnervingly still. Chaim Weiss was found in his dorm room, but the scene offered no sign of a break-in, no indication of a struggle, and nothing of value was missing. The murder weapon itself was gone. All that remained were baffling questions and a profound sense of quiet that felt heavier than silence. The timing of the discovery complicated everything. It was the Sabbath, a holy day of rest in Judaism when observant Jews refrained from many activities, including writing or using electricity. This meant that taking formal statements from the students and staff was nearly impossible. Interviews were difficult, and detectives sensed a deep hesitation. It was hard to tell if the students were frightened, simply adhering to their religious obligations, or concealing something far darker. The cultural barrier was like an invisible wall, one the investigators struggled to see past. As Detective Daly surveyed the scene, he started to notice details that seemed steeped in ritual. Chaim's window had been left wide open, despite the chilly November air. In some Jewish customs, an open window is a symbolic gesture meant to help release the soul of the departed. Even more puzzling, Chaim's body had been moved from his bed to the floor. The floor is the coolest, lowest place in a room, and in some traditions, it is where the deceased are placed as a sign of respect before burial preparations. Were these clues left by a killer with an intimate knowledge of Jewish law, or were they simply a series of strange coincidences? The mystery only deepened. Shortly after the initial investigation began, a rabbi from the school asked for permission to place a Yahrzeit candle, a memorial candle, in Chaim's room as a sign of respect for his soul. The police agreed, but when they returned to the sealed-off room 2 days later, they found something unsettling. A second candle was lit, burning alongside the first. No one admitted to placing it there. No one could explain how they had gotten into a room secured by police tape. It was a silent, flickering message in the dark, but what it meant was anyone's guess. Detectives worked tirelessly to retrace Chaim's final hours. He was known as a top student, bright, friendly, and well-liked. On his last evening, after classes and evening prayers, he was seen reading quietly in the dorm hallway. On the Sabbath, to conserve electricity, only a few common areas were lit, and the hallway was one of them. He was last seen there, engrossed in a book. Sometime later that night, someone entered his unlocked room, and Chaim Weiss was never seen alive again. The person who ended his life did so without making a sound that anyone would admit to hearing. The investigation that followed was extensive. Dozens of students were questioned, and many even underwent polygraph tests. The teachers and rabbis cooperated, but only as much as their deeply held beliefs would allow. A powerful silence seemed to envelop the yeshiva. According to their interpretation of Jewish law, one cannot accuse another of such a grave sin without absolute, irrefutable proof. Bearing false witness is considered a terrible transgression. In a community where reputation is paramount, the fear of making a wrongful accusation created a wall of silence that no detective could break through. Just when the case seemed to be at a complete standstill, a single, tantalizing clue emerged. A local resident who was jogging near the school in the very early hours of that morning reported seeing a young man near the yeshiva. He seemed out of place, but the jogger couldn't provide a detailed description. Police poured resources into this lead, creating composite sketches and canvassing the area, but the mysterious figure was never found, never identified. The lead, which once held so much promise, eventually faded into nothing, and with it, the trail grew cold. For Chaim's father, Anton Weiss, a Holocaust survivor, The loss was an unbearable echo of past tragedies. The not knowing makes it harder, he told reporters, his voice filled with a grief that time could not heal. My son is gone, and his killer walks free. For years, he fought for answers, pleading for anyone with information to come forward. Decades later, his words still hang in the air, a haunting testament to a father's unending pain and the silence that was never broken. To this day, there have been no arrests, no confessions. All that remains is the faint, chilling outline of a crime that occurred inside one of the most private communities in America. The case is a labyrinth of faith, fear, and unanswered questions. Who killed Chaim Weiss, and why, is a mystery that has endured for decades, a solemn secret held within the sacred walls of the yeshiva. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of a truly haunting case. If you found this story compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into mysteries that remain unsolved. We appreciate your support.